Exciting news from the world of DC. If you've been following James Gunn DC Universe, right, and DC Universe, and I always say DC Universe because I am a huge fan of the DCEU. I know we are moving forward into the DC Universe, but it's hard not to revel and have nostalgia when I'm talking about the DCEU, right? But anyway, so exciting news from James Gunn and the DC Universe. If you're not aware, he's actually currently directing. Actually, I think they're in post production of Superman movie. That he's directing personally. That's starring David Corenswet as Superman. I think it's highly anticipated. As a fan, coming from the DCEU, coming from Henry Cavill, I mean, David has, oh man, he has a tall order. I mean, trying to replace the man who really embodied Superman. I mean, outside of Christopher Reeves, who else has really given us the best version of Superman? And that was Henry Cavill. But James Gunn, I think he's absolutely ramping up everything that's going on with DC moving forward, right? And so he's actually announced several characters that are going to be featured not only in the Superman movie, but also moving forward. I think Batman Brave and the Bold and Supergirl and, all these movies that are actually in production right now. And one of the most exciting characters that as a fan, I mean, I've really wanted to see, we've never really seen him in live action, and that's Clayface, right? I mean, we've seen him in animation. We haven't really seen him in like a TV show. But we've seen him in animation and Clayface has been a big part. I mean, he's a supervillain, right? And he's actually got a really interesting story that I'll cover at some point, really giving you his origin story and where he comes from and all this stuff, right? But we've wanted to see this. I mean, seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger play Mr. Freeze, played him well, but the movie was just really not well received. We've obviously seen Scarecrow. We've seen the Joker multiple times, right? So we've seen Bane, even though we want a more grittier, bigger, almost comic accurate version of Bane, even though you cannot go wrong with the Bane version we got in The Dark Knight. But anyway, so we've been waiting to see Clayface. And we're so excited because we're finally going to get Clayface. And he's actually going to be featured in James Gunn's Superman movie and moving forward. And I think it's an exciting thing as a DC fan because I can't wait to see what because, I mean, it's been interesting. From Matt Reeves' version of the Batman where we saw the Riddler, and we got a really interesting Riddler. I've talked about it before where, Jim Carrey played the Riddler, right, in the 90s. And it was a more funny, comically, more Marvel type, in terms of the humor, the Riddler. And you can say in some ways you actually do see a version of the Riddler like that in the comics, especially in animation. But we love the fact that we saw a grittier, real, almost more relatable Riddler in the Batman. So I'm excited to see what James Gunn is actually going to do with Clayface, but now we actually know who's going to play Clayface. So it obviously matters that they get the character right, which character they're actually going to portray, but it also matters who they get to play that character. I mean, a la Heath Ledger playing the Joker, a la Henry Cavill playing Superman, right? A la, obviously, I mean, with Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, you got it right. You know what I mean? But as a supervillain, getting supervillains right is also good, right? It's also okay. And there's a lot of pressure to do that. And I think they've really hit the home run with this cast. Now they're going to have Alan Tudyk play Clayface. Now, if you're not familiar with Alan Tudyk, I mean, this man has been in so many movies for the last 30 years. In animation, from Zootopia to Ice Age to Frozen. He's been in movies like Ice Age and 3:10 to Yuma and Star Wars. He's been in Transformers Dark Side of the Moon. If you remember, he was more like a security figure. You know what I mean? So he has a lot of range. And I have no doubt that he can absolutely pull off this character. Because he's one of those people that takes on so many different roles, and then also He's a voice actor, meaning he actually he lends his voice to so many different actors. I mean, different things, from animation to TV shows to movies. You know what I mean? So he's come a long way. And if you remember iRobot, he played Sonny, the robot, right? And so this is a really, really good cast. It really is. And I'm really excited to see where they go with this. You know, there's a lot of pressure for James Gunn to really deliver and really give us something we haven't seen. Because moving from Henry Cavill, moving from the DCEU and what we experienced and what we loved and still love about that version of Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, right? He has so much pressure to give us something amazing. And it all starts with casting. I mean, all indications from everything we've heard. I think we've heard a lot of, because I think right now he's actually ramping up a trailer for the Superman movie, and all indications are from the people we've heard from, like Frank Grillo. He talked about how he believes that David Corenswet is going to end up being a superstar from this movie. Apparently, James Gunn has done a really good job of portraying Superman. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But yeah, there's so much pressure coming from the fan base because Warner Brothers and DC actually right now they're really afraid of the backlash. Actually, I think I saw an article where they're afraid of a huge part of the DC fans, DCEU fans, Henry Cavill Superman fans, not watching his version of Superman. So they're actually worried about that. So we'll wait and see once we see the trailer and we see what he has in store for us. But just talking about Clayface and talking about Alan Tudyk playing this role. And not only that, apparently he's also been given certain other roles that he can actually play, like Metamorpho. I think he's going to play Metamorpho in Creature Commandos, if I'm not wrong. But he's going to play multiple characters moving forward, and I'm excited about that. But just in the DC universe, the fact that we actually get to have one of the coolest supervillains. Because, I mean, if you know, if you're a fan of Batman, and especially Batman animation, Batman comics, and you know who Clayface is, and you know how this is one of those characters that, I mean, he's given Batman fits, not just Batman. I mean, the Justice League. I mean, he is a supervillain, right? And I really can't wait to see what they do with this character, and I hope they do him justice. But anyway, that's the news coming from the DC universe. I hope you're as excited as I am to see where they're going with this. Let me know in the comments if you are a fan of Clayface and what you actually expect from the trailer that apparently we're going to get in December from James Gunn and the new Superman movie. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.